my channel. My name is Vicky. Today we're going to be doing a kettlebell class. So you're going to need a kettlebell. If you haven't got one of these, you can use a dumbbell, or you can fill up a water container or something like that, something that's got a little bit of weight to it and something you can hold on to. You're going to do each exercise for 1 minute, 20 exercises, repeat everything twice, so that's 40 minutes of work. 10 seconds before the end, I'm going to start demonstrating the next exercise, but you guys wait for the minute to start. If you're finding something too difficult, you can always take the kettlebell away or choose an easier variation. If you really don't like something, you can just skip that exercise altogether and do the previous exercise.
Oh, hello there, Oscar.
There will be a short break in between the two sets, but feel free to take a break whenever you need to. Remember to get a drink whenever you need to as well. Okay, let's do a quick warm-up and dynamic stretch.
So, standing up nice and tall, feet hip distance apart. Reach the arms up overhead and then lean over to the right, getting a stretch down the left side of the body. Come back to centre and then lean over to the left, feeling the stretch down the right side this time. Bring it back to centre and then just take circles with the head. Do a couple one direction and a couple in the other direction. Taking circles with the shoulders. Same again, do about 3 in one direction, 3 in the other direction. Big circles with the arms whilst coming up onto your toes. It's like a big stretch up, all the way onto the toes, using the full range of motion with the arms. And let's change that direction. Don't worry if you lose your balance, just waking up the joints. Keeping the hips facing forwards, bring the arms up and just take little twists looking over the shoulder to wake up the spine. You can do this as slow or as fast as you like, just listen to your own body. Circling the hips, again taking a couple in one direction, a couple in the other direction. Coming into opposite elbow towards knee, just keep alternating, lifting the knee up and a little twist with the body. Hamstring curls, kicking the heels up towards the bum. And then introducing the arms, taking them out wide, stretching across the chest. Squeeze the back muscles when you do this one and a little bend in your elbows. Widen the stance with the feet, take the arms out to the sides and then just reaching across, opposite hand towards foot. Straight legs if you can. Waking up and giving a little stretch to those hamstrings. Tracing big circles with the knees, getting some mobility into those hip joints. Little bit of a balance as we circle the wrist and the ankle at the same time. Doing a couple in one direction and then switching it. And then changing sides again, remembering to switch the direction. Give the arms and the legs a little shake off. And you are now ready for your killer kettlebell workout. I'm just setting my timer ready to go. So just remember guys, I'm going to be demonstrating the exercise for 10 seconds before you start. So you wait for the 60-second timer to come up. So first exercise is a squat with a right arm shoulder press. This is just demonstration. You're starting in 3, 2, 1, off you go. Feet are shoulder width apart. Make sure we sit back into that squat. Weight is in our heels. Knees are above our ankles, make sure that they're not coming too far forward. Should be able to see your toes if you look down. Keep the chest lifted. Engage in the back muscles as you press that weight up towards the sky. Keep bringing the kettlebell back to that racked position by the shoulder with the knuckles facing back. Try and get nice and deep in those squats. Feet don't need to be pointing forwards, they can point slightly out to the sides. It's personal preference when it comes to squats. We're all built very differently. Okay, I'm demonstrating the next exercise, just simply switching to the left arm. You guys are starting in 3, 2, 1. Squeeze the glutes on the way up, pushing the hips forwards. You'll notice that you're pushing into your left heel more with the added weight on this side. Think of sitting the bum back as though you're sitting into a chair. Moving into 5 front raises with a walkout press, remembering to bend the knees when we go down and come up. Standing at the top of your mat in 3, 2, 1. 5 front raises, lifting the weight no higher than head height. Coming down, placing the weight in between the feet, walking out into a high plank, 1 press up. Take it back, repeat. When we front raise, the body stays nice and still, it's just the arms moving, squeezing the back muscles. And if you don't like press ups, you can always drop down onto your knees, but it's only 1, so just try and squeeze it out. Now you can't have a kettlebell class without a swing included. You're starting in 3, 2, 1. Feet are slightly wider than shoulder width, toes slightly turned out. Little squat, weight goes between the legs, we squeeze the glutes driving the hips forwards and swinging the kettlebell up. Now the arms aren't doing any of the work here. All the force is coming from the glutes and the hamstrings, driving those hips forwards, getting the momentum to create that swinging motion. Halfway there. Tricep extensions next. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So the elbows are up next to the ears and we press the weight up, extending the arm. Try not to let the elbows stick out to the sides. You want them really close to the head, next to the ears. You can split the stance if you like, if you feel more balanced that way. Try not to arch your lower back, keep the tailbone slightly tucked under. Use the full range of motion. Keep it going, couple more. Next up, an alternating back lunge, passing the weight around the thigh. Make sure you've got space and you're not on your mat. In 3, 2, 1. Big step back, back knee dipping down towards the floor, front knee staying above the ankle. keeping the chest lifted up. If you feel like your chest is dropping down, then you need to go slightly deeper into the lunge. If this is still not working, then just take the kettlebell away. Focus on getting some really nice lunges, so keeping the chest lifted up. Choose the option that works for you. Don't give up. Next up, we got renegade row with 5 pulls on one side, 5 pulls on the other. In 3, 2, 1. So we're in a high plank position with the weight just below our belly button. Pull the weight towards the body with the elbow pointing up. Do 5 on one side and 5 on the other. If you're finding it difficult, you can drop the knee down, taking away the plank and just focusing on the pulls. Try and keep the arm really close to the body when we pull up. If you're in that high plank, try and keep the hips facing towards the mat. Try not to twist to the sides. Keep breathing. Come on, you've got this. Next up, coming onto your mat for a half Turkish get-up, weight in the right hand. Okay, let's go. Bending the left leg, right leg is straight, right arm is straight up towards the ceiling, left hand is on the floor for support as we lift up. Harder option would be to lift the left hand off the floor, and the right arm is always straight up. Try to keep it nice and controlled. So we go down the same speed we came up, we don't flop onto our back. I'm demonstrating the left side now. You guys are starting in 3, 2, 1. Bend into the right leg stays straight, left arm straight up towards the ceiling, right hand on the floor for support as we lift up. Again, if you want the harder option, the right hand is lifted off the floor. Always keep the left arm straight and up. Slow and controlled, it's not about speed. Keep breathing. Great job, guys. Keep it going. Next up, we've got bridges with the feet hip distance apart, starting in 3, 2, 1. Placing the weight on top of the body. If this is not comfortable, then you can just take the weight away and do the bridges with body weight only. Press the heels down, squeeze the glutes, lift the hips up, and we're going to hold it at the top for a few seconds before we come back down. Really think about engaging your glutes, slightly tucking the tailbone underneath, making sure there's no arch in your lower back. I'm demonstrating the next exercise, Russian twists. You're starting in 3, 2, 1. Leaning back, core really strong, and twisting, moving the weight from one side of the body to the other. You can keep the heels down on the floor, or for a harder option, lift the feet up. Try not to hold your breath, keep breathing. If you feel like you need to stop, maybe just take the kettlebell away and see if you can keep going for a little bit longer. Go at your own speed on this one. You can go as fast or as slow as you like. Next exercise, we're coming up to standing for bicep curls with the right arm. You're starting in 3, 2, 1. So you want to hold the kettlebell by the ball and then you want the palm to be facing up. If you're finding it difficult, you can drop to a lighter weight. Clearly I'm struggling here, so I'm going to go for the candle holder. Believe it or not, it is quite heavy. It's cast iron, I'll have you know. Check in on your posture, slight bend in the knees, tailbone tucked under, abs engaged. Always keep the elbow next to your body, don't let it swing forwards and backwards. I've moved over to the left side for the demonstration. You're starting in 3, 2, 1. Again, check in on your posture. Keep the elbow next to the body. Use that full range of motion. Keeping your body rock steady so it's not moving backwards and forwards, helping out your bicep. Don't stop, keep it going, nearly there. Whoa, I am getting very sweaty. Next up, we've got single leg deadlift. Right leg's going to be lifting up in 3, 2, 1. So you want to keep a slight bend in your left leg as we drop down with the chest, keeping your back as flat as possible. Squeezing the right glute to lift the leg back, holding the weight in both hands and keeping it close to your legs. Squeeze your glutes. Now this is quite challenging for the balance. If you're really struggling, keep both feet on the floor and just do normal deadlifts, trying to push the hips back and keeping the back really flat. Little bend in the knees. Okay, I'm demonstrating on the other side now. You're starting in 3, 2, 1. As you can see, I've come off my mat. It's actually a lot easier for your balance if you do it on the floor, so apologies there. Feel free to stay on the mat though if you want an extra challenge. Remember to have a little bend in your support leg. The bigger the bend in the support leg, the easier it will be. You don't need to take that back leg too high, no more than parallel with the floor. "20 seconds left. Coming back to some kettlebell swings, but this time we're going to alternate between the arms. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So just like we did before with that kettlebell swing, only this time when we get to the top of the swing, we pass the weight into the other hand. We keep our chest lifted and our gaze forwards, exactly the same as before. We're driving everything with the hamstrings and the glutes. If you don't like doing it with alternating arms, then just keep the weight in both hands and come back to those normal kettlebell swings. Just 4 exercises left before we have a little break. Next up, picking the weight up off the floor, squat, clean, press, and then change into the other side. Are you ready? Let's go. So we squat up, bringing the weight into the rack position, then press up, squat down, place it on the floor, switch sides. Make sure we are squatting, bending those knees and not hinging from the hips. Keep it controlled so that when we place the weight down, we don't create a bang. If you've got neighbours that live below, then maybe do this one on your mat so you're creating even less noise. Squeeze the back muscles on the shoulder press. Moving into halo next, taking the weight around the head, starting in 3, 2, 1. So you want the weight to be about in line with the ears, it's not on the top of the head like a halo. Squeeze the upper back muscles and the shoulders as we take the weight around, and try not to move the hips, keep the body really still. Checking in on that posture, slight bend in the knees, tailbone tucked under, abs stay tight. So I've changed direction, but you guys are going to change in 3, 2, 1. Coming onto your mat for alternating V-sits. Start with the feet and the weight up in the air in 3, 2, 1. So the leg goes back as the weight goes back and we meet up in the middle, and then change the leg. Squeezing and lifting the shoulders off the floor, but if this is too much, keep the shoulders and the head down on the floor, just moving the arms and legs. If you want more of a challenge, you can take both legs down at the same time, going for a full V-sit. Keep breathing, squeeze and lift. After this, one more exercise, then we've got a little break. Moving into press up, pull across, coming into a high plank with the weight to the right side. Let's go, press up, and then move the weight with the left hand over to the left, press up, move the weight to the right side with the right hand. Just keep going like this. If you're finding it difficult, by all means drop onto your knees. I think I'm going to go with that option myself. I find these really difficult. If you are going for the full press up option, something that does make it slightly easier is to have the feet slightly further apart than you would in a normal press up. Gives you a bit more stability. Remember to move the weight far enough over to the side that you've still got room to go low enough down into your press up. If you're on your knees, keep your hips low. Try not to have the elbows pointing out directly to the sides, have them pointing slightly back. So close, just give me a couple more. Amazing job guys, well done. So it's time for that well-earned rest. You're here for just over a minute. Use your time wisely, take some nice deep breaths. Get yourself a drink, towel yourselves down if you're really sweaty like I am. Feel free to do a little boogie while you're doing all this. Now this is the only break during the whole class, which isn't a lot, so feel free to take as many breaks as you need to, especially to get a drink. Stay hydrated. We're quite simply going to be repeating everything that we just did in exactly the same order, so it's just 20 more minutes of exercise. You've got about 20 seconds left of rest. I'm demonstrating the squat with the right shoulder press. You guys are starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Power up, push through the heels. Sit the bum back in the squat. Drive the hips forward as we come up. Squeeze the back muscles, squeeze the shoulder as you press the weight up to the sky. Can we go a little bit deeper? Seconds left. Okay, I've moved onto the left side. You guys starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remember to find the positioning with the feet that works best for you. Sometimes having the toes slightly pointing outwards and the feet a little bit wider will help you to go deeper and feel more comfortable in your squat. Keep the chest lifted up. Weight in the heels, not in the toes. Keep it going. Nearly there. Next up, 5 front raises with the walkout press. Starting in 3, 2, 1. When we do the front raises, try not to move the hips forwards and backwards to help. Keep the body really still. You can keep a little bend in your elbows when you do the front raises. Bend in the knees as we come down and bend in the knees as we come back up. You can drop onto your knees for the press up only if you need to, but try and do a full press up as it's only one. Coming into those kettlebell swings in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Taking the weight between the legs, driving those hips forwards to get the momentum in the swing. Just a little demonstration from the side. You don't need to bring the kettlebell super high. Obviously the higher it goes, that means there's more power coming from the legs to drive it higher. So it really is up to you how high you want to take it. Make sure it's not the arms doing the work, it's all coming from the legs and the glutes. Make sure we are bending the knees, but we're not going super low like we do in a squat. overhead tricep extension. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Most important thing here is to keep those elbows in and try to keep them pointing up towards the ceiling rather than pointing forwards. Split the stance if you like, if it helps with the balance. Keep going. Use full range of motion. Don't stop. Come on, keep going. Next up, an alternating back lunge, passing the weight around the thigh. Make sure you've got space and you're not on your mat. In 3, 2, 1. Big step back, back knee dipping down towards the floor, front knee staying above the ankle. Keeping the chest lifted up. You've got the easier option of taking the kettlebell away if you need it and just focusing on backwards lunges, keeping the chest lifted up. "20 seconds left. Next up, we got renegade row with 5 pulls on one side, 5 pulls on the other. In 3, 2, 1. So we're in a high plank position with the weight just below our belly button. Pull the weight towards the body with the elbow pointing up. Do 5 on one side and 5 on the other. These are really difficult, so if you need the easier option, just bring the knee down onto the mat for a bit of extra support. Keep those hips square. Next up, coming onto your mat for a half Turkish get-up, weight in the right hand. Okay, let's go. Bending the left leg, right leg is straight, right arm is straight up towards the ceiling, left hand is on the floor for support as we lift up. Harder option here, lifting the left arm off the floor. Keep it slow and controlled. I'm demonstrating the left side now. You guys are starting in 3, 2, 1. Bend into the right leg, left leg stays straight, left arm straight up towards the ceiling, right hand on the floor for support as we lift up. Again, if you want the harder option, the right hand is lifted off the floor. Always keep the left arm straight and up. Slow and controlled, it's not about speed. Keep breathing. Great job, guys, keep it going. Next up, we've got bridges with the feet hip distance apart, starting in 3, 2, 1. Up to you if you want to do this with or without the kettlebell. And if you've got different sizes, this is a good one to do with a really big kettlebell, especially if you're trying to get your butt nice and big. Press the heels down, squeeze the glutes, lift the hips up. And we're going to hold it at the top for a few seconds before we come back down. Really think about engaging your glutes, slightly tucking the tailbone underneath, making sure there's no arch in your lower back. I'm demonstrating the next exercise, Russian twists. You're starting in 3, 2, 1. Leaning back, core really strong, and twisting, moving the weight from one side of the body to the other. Harder option, heels are lifted off the floor. Try not to hold your breath, keep breathing. Next exercise, we're coming up to standing for bicep curls with the right arm. You're starting in 3, 2, 1. Hold the kettlebell or whatever it is you're using with the palm facing up. Use that full range of motion, keeping your body rock steady so it's not moving backwards and forwards, helping out your bicep. Halfway there. I've stopped a little bit too early here. You guys keep going. I've moved over to the left side for the demonstration. You're starting in 3, 2, 1. Check in on your posture, slight bend in the knees, tailbone tucked under, abs engaged. Always keep the elbow next to your body, don't let it swing forwards and backwards. Don't stop, keep it going, nearly there. Next up, we've got single leg deadlift. Right leg's going to be lifting up in 3, 2, 1. So you want to keep a slight bend in your left leg as we drop down with the chest, keeping your back as flat as possible. Easier option, just normal deadlifts. Whichever option you're doing, try and keep the back nice and flat, looking forwards, a little bend in the knees. Squeeze that gluteus maximus. Okay, I'm demonstrating on the other side now. You're starting in 3, 2, 1. Remember to have a little bend in your support leg. The bigger the bend in the support leg, the easier it will be. You don't need to take that back leg too high, no more than parallel with the floor. Don't give up. Coming back to some kettlebell swings, but this time we're going to alternate between the arms. Starting in 3, 2, 1. We keep our chest lifted and our gaze forwards, exactly the same as before. We're driving everything with the hamstrings and the glutes, changing hands at the top of the swing. Just a little demonstration from the side. Seconds left. Next up, picking the weight up off the floor, squat, clean, press, and then changing to the other side. Are you ready? Let's go. So we squat up, bringing the weight into the rack position, then press up, squat down, place it on the floor, switch sides. Make sure we are squatting, bending those knees and not hinging from the hips. Do this one on your mat if you're worried about the noise, but if you can, keep it controlled so that there's minimal noise made. Just 3 exercises left in the whole class. Moving into halo next. Taking the weight around the head, starting in 3, 2, 1. Keep that core really strong. Try not to wriggle your hips. So I've changed direction, but you guys are going to change in 3, 2, 1. Coming onto your mat for alternating V-sits. Start with the feet and the weight up in the air in 3, 2, 1. So the leg goes back as the weight goes back and we meet up in the middle, and then change the leg. Squeezing and lifting the shoulders off the floor, but if this is too much, keep the shoulders and the head down on the floor, just moving the arms and the legs. If you want more of a challenge, you can take both legs down at the same time, going for a full V-sit. Keep breathing, squeeze and lift. exercise, press up, pull across, coming into a high plank with the weight to the right side. Let's go, press up, and then move the weight with the left hand over to the left, press up, move the weight to the right side with the right hand. Easy option, knees down, but try and keep that bum down as well. "20 seconds left. So close, just give me a couple more. Great job guys, we made it right to the end, well done. Should be feeling really proud of yourselves, that was a tough class. Get yourselves a drink of water, pat yourselves down, and get ready for the best part of the class, some juicy stretches. Lying on your back, take your arms up overhead, pointing the toes and pointing the fingers, making the body as long as possible. Then bring the knees onto the chest, clasp the hands over the shin, squeeze the legs towards you. Keep the right knee in, send the left leg away, right arm goes out to the side, and the left hand just pulls the knee over towards the left side, coming into a spinal twist, just sending your gaze over your right fingertips, trying to keep the right shoulder pressing down. Bring the leg back up, and then straighten it out for the hamstring stretch, clasping the hands behind the leg, maybe taking circles with the ankle if that feels nice. Place the right ankle just above the left knee, letting the right knee drop out to the side. Clasp your hands behind your left hamstring, bringing the legs in towards the chest, feeling a stretch in the right glute. Let's switch side, left knee comes in towards the chest, clasp the hands over the shin, right leg extends. So this time the left arm goes out to the side, right hand pulls the knee over towards the right, and take your gaze down your left hand for that spinal twist. Keep pressing the left shoulder down. Come back to centre and then extend the left leg up, clasping the hands behind, getting that lovely hamstring stretch. Feel free to take those circles with the ankle. Place your left ankle just above the right knee, let the left knee drop out to the side, and then bringing the legs up, clasping the hand behind the right hamstring, stretching out the left glute. Make your way over onto all fours, set the bum onto the heels and extend the arms ahead for child's pose. Try and get your bum nice and close to your heels and forehead on the mat, feeling a release in the lower back. Lift up and then drop down onto your belly, keep your hands by your chest, elbows pointing back, inhale to lift the chest up, exhale to drop it down, inhale to lift the chest, exhale to drop it down, press the hips into the floor one more time, and exhale down. Press into the palms to lift up and then come up to a standing position. Stretching out the right quad, bring the heel up towards the bum, try and press the hips forward and keep the knees together. Switching sides. Trying to keep balance, doing whatever you need to do. Take a big step back like you're doing a lunge with the right leg, but keep the heel pressed into the floor. Bend into your left knee so you create a stretch for the calf muscle. Bring the right arm across the chest to stretch the back and the shoulder. Release the arm, come up onto the toes of the back foot, lunge the knee down onto the mat, sink the hips forward, stretching the hip flexor, and reach the right arm up, bending the elbow and pressing gently with the left hand to stretch the tricep. Squeeze and lift up, and change sides. Stepping the left foot back, pressing the heel down, bending into the right knee. And then bring in the left arm across the chest to get that nice stretch into the shoulder and the back. Release the arm, come onto the toes of the back foot, lunge the back knee down onto the mat, sink the hips forward, stretching the hip flexor, reach left arm up, bend the elbow and press gently with the right hand to get that stretch for the tricep. Release and come back up to standing. Keeping the feet shoulder width apart, I want you to interlace the fingers behind you, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the chest up, inhale. As you exhale, I want you to hinge from the hips, keeping a bend in the knees, diving the chest forwards and letting the arms reach up. Slowly make your way back up, release the hands, inhale to reach the arms up, exhale, come into a forward fold, stretching the hamstrings one last time. Slowly come all the way back up to standing and give yourselves a round of applause. Do a little dance. Congratulations guys, you did amazing, well done. I really hope you enjoyed the class guys. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and maybe check out some of my other videos. Stay safe people.